All right, Los Angeles Rams and the New York Football Giants, 5.5 to 6 out there right now. 43.5 is your total, Adam. We know it is going to be the Tyrod Taylor experience for the Giants, which is a massive upgrade for the offense. And then on the Rams side, this just coming through here on my machine, Puka Nacua and Ernest Jones not going to practice on Friday, going to be listed as questionable, McVay said. He's hopeful both of them play, but both going to be listed as questionable, so at least something for us to consider as we head into this handicap.
Let's talk about what we have in the Los Angeles Rams, because this, to me, is the team that is the equivalent of what we talked about with the Cleveland Browns on the other side in the National Football Conference. The Rams are really good offensively. Now, as you just mentioned, Matt, they need Puka Nacua at full health to be able to do what they do. But if you look at where the Rams have struggled this year, which games they've struggled in, they struggled when the offensive line wasn't healthy, and of course, when Matthew Stafford wasn't healthy, and of course, when Brett Rippon had to play. The only game that this team has lost in its last 6 was in overtime at Baltimore. They are on an absolute heater right now, and the thing that we thought was going to kill them, the defense, has been okay. And that's all they have to be, is okay. Because when this offense is right, when they have Kyren Williams doing what he's doing, and when Matthew Stafford is dropping the kind of dimes that he's dropping, the Los Angeles Rams are a team that can win the NFC. Right now, you can get them at 30-1 to win the NFC. I think that is a live bet when you look at the potential matchups for them. When you look at the only real struggle they might have is with San Francisco, which everyone's going to have some sort of struggle with San Francisco. And if you play Rams 30-1 and you can get to the point where you've got Rams 49ers in the NFC Championship game, then you have a wonderful opportunity to hedge your way into some profit there by putting a big bet on San Francisco. So this particular week, I want to know about Puka Nacua. If Puka Nacua is healthy, I think you can lay that 5.5 with the Rams because of this. This is Super Bowl week for the Los Angeles Rams playoff chances because they have San Francisco next week. This is where Sean McVay will leave nothing in that playbook. Everything will come out to make sure that they beat the New York Giants. I understand Tyrod Taylor is better than Tommy DeVito. That's kind of like saying that, my 1984 Olds Cutlass Supreme is better than a junkyard car. It's still better than the worst of the worst, but it doesn't make the Giants a good team.
Steven, I think when I look at this, like the under 6 has always been attractive to me. I haven't pulled the trigger quite yet, but then now this Puka news is at least a little bit worrisome for me because obviously when all the weapons are out there, we've seen this offense hum here over the last few weeks. So maybe it's a let me see what they say on Saturday type situation for that one with Puka, but I have a very, very, very strong lean towards the Rams.
I've bet it. Now I'm a little concerned with Puka, but we'll see. If he's on the field, I feel fine about it. I want to go further into what Adam said because I think it's important with the Rams. And at least for this game, let's start with the fact that since they got Kyren Williams back at running back, and I know the Twitter will tell you running backs don't matter, but there's at least a handful that do. And it seems pretty clear that Kyren Williams mattered a lot for Matthew Stafford in this offense because since week 12 and getting him back, Stafford ranks first or second in pretty much every advanced metric across the board. The only one he isn't is completion percentage over expected, where he's 4th. And in that span, he has 14 touchdowns and only 1 interception. And that, again, included games against the Ravens defense and also the Browns defense as well. I also think that the Rams defense isn't great, but in the second half of the season, they've gone from a clearly below average defense to now in that span of week 9 onward, closer to league average. And in fact, a little bit above average in a couple of these metrics. So, and just hat tip to Aaron Donald as well, who at his age is still the number 1 interior defensive lineman by pass rush win rate, despite being double teamed 63% of the time. Guy's incredible. First ballot Hall of Famer.
Oh,
now
yes.
To go further, Matt,
like maybe one of the, maybe we'll go down as one of the GOAT, in the GOAT talk.
Yeah, absolutely. Among defensive players. Absolutely. we don't share notes before the show. We just come on and talk about what we've prepared for. Adam, you read my mind. I was going to come on and also talk about the Rams futures because as a 49ers fan, they are the only team I'm worried about in the NFC. I'm not worried about the Eagles, believe it or not. I'm not worried about the Cowboys. I'm not worried about the Lions. Anybody else that might make it as a wild card. The Rams scare the hell out of me. And I think it's because they only run 11 personnel, which allows Sean McVay to disguise what he does extremely well. And I think that's part of the reason that having Kyron Williams back was a big deal too. 70-1 Super Bowl is interesting to me. 30-1 NFC, absolutely interesting to me. I've been looking hard at them all week. Haven't pulled the trigger yet, but I think I'm going to. The only caveat I'll mention is because it looks like the Cowboys will be the 5 seed, which means Rams in all likelihood will be the 6 seed. Unless we get a crazy upset in the 2-7, which I think is very unlikely, it means the Rams would actually get the Niners in the divisional round and not be able to wait out and get them into the championship game. So that's the biggest hurdle for me in my head right now, is knowing that in all likelihood they're going to get the Niners in the second leg of that potential futures ticket. But again, it scares the hell out of me for sure. The Rams are legit.
Yeah, definitely peaking at the right time. No doubt about
Matt,
that.
Can I add something to what Steven was saying? I just want to add this. If I want the Rams against the 49ers, I want them in that divisional round. I actually would prefer that to the NFC Championship. I want the Niners off that rust of having to not have played for a couple of weeks. That actually, to me, is a little more attractive.
Okay.